published, 5:13 EDT, April 10, 2019, updated, 11:59 EDT, April 10, 2019. UK businesses forced to stockpile supplies ahead of a possible no-deal Brexit sparked a minor economic surge in the months leading up to our aborted departure. New statistics reveal Britain's gross domestic product (GDP) rose by 0.3% in the period between December and February compared with the previous quarter, according to the Office for National Statistics (ONS). In February, the UK economy grew by 0.2% versus January's 0.5%. Both measures were ahead of economists' expectations, who had penciled in zero growth for February and 0.2% for the three-month period. At that time there were strong fears and warnings that Britain might leave the economic bloc on March 29 without a deal. This potentially could have led to chaos at the UK border, with badly hit imports and exports, and a shortage of raw materials. Rob Kent-Smith, head of GDP at the ONS, said, GDP growth remained modest in the latest 3 months. Services again drove the economy, with a continued strong performance in IT. Manufacturing also continued to recover after weakness at the end of last year, with the often erratic pharmaceutical industry, chemicals and alcohol performing well in recent months. The UK economy received a small boost from firms stockpiling ahead of the original Brexit day of March 29, which was later postponed. The ONS cited data that showed a surge in manufacturing output in March was linked to manufacturers and firms hoarding goods in the run-up to what was supposed to be Brexit. Companies stepped up production to build inventories in advance of March 29, Britain's original Brexit day, before the Conservative government asked the EU for an extension. The manufacturing sector recorded 0.9% of growth in February and followed on from 1.1% the prior month. Manufacturing output is now at its highest level since April 2008, driven by domestic demand. It helped industrial production jump by 0.6% during the second month of the year. The ONS data dump also showed that the construction sector eked out 0.4% growth while services grew just 0.1%. The figures were released ahead of tonight's emergency EU summit, where Theresa May will beg for a short delay to Brexit. Theresa May spoke to the media as she arrived for the summit and expressed her frustration over the need for a Brexit delay because the UK should have left by now. Tempees for refusing to pass the Brexit deal today as she arrived at a summit due to agree a second delay, complaining we should have left by now. The Prime Minister dodged questions about her own future as she prepared to beg EU leaders for terms on a new extension to the Article 15 negotiating period. Mrs May has landed in Brussels and said she wants an extension with a break clause so Britain can quit as soon as a deal gets through Parliament. She will say the delay should end on June 30. This evening she will give a 90-minute pitch on her plans, before dining alone while the 27 other leaders discuss her request. They are almost certain to reject it and force a delay lasting between December 31 this year and March 31, 2020. Emmanuel Macron appeared to wink today as he arrived in Brussels after he was urged not to humiliate the Prime Minister. He is set to demand the UK is subjected to a number of punitive conditions with a Christmas deadline. As he arrived, the French president warned nothing is certain and the EU27 must understand why Britain needs more time. German Chancellor Angela Merkel wants a gentler, but longer extension, into 2020, reflecting splits among the EU27 that are set to delay a ruling long into tonight. Arriving at the EU's headquarters, the PM refused to say if she would quit if Britain is forced to swallow a longer delay, but insisted her aim is still to leave the EU on May 22 if she can win over Jeremy Corbyn. She said, "What is important is that any extension enables us to leave at the point at which we ratify our withdrawal agreement. I know many people will be frustrated that the summit is taking place at all. The UK should have left by now." President Macron is also calling for regular behaviour reviews of the UK, a bonfire of its EU powers and posts, and a Boris-proof lock preventing a new Tory leader causing havoc within the EU if she stands down, despite warnings from Donald Tusk and Angela Merkel not to poison relations with Britain. Before taking off for Belgium, a frustrated Theresa May blasted MPs for not voting through her EU divorce deal after Tory Eurosceptic Henry Smith accusing her of throwing away £1 billion a month in payment to Brussels if she accepts a longer Article 50 extension tonight.